What's going on, guys? So you're trying to understand how to make more money in your business. And I know you see my titles. How is making more money easier than you think? You know what I mean? Like, it's hard because if it wasn't hard, then I'd be able to do it and stuff like that. Okay, all right. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get into that, and I'm going to tell you the truth about what I think about why it's easier to make more money sometimes and what's easy about it and what's not easy about it. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right. So when I say making money is easier than you think, making large sums of money, it actually can be. And trust me, I didn't believe this at first when I did it. This is not like no mystical. This is not like no manifestation stuff, you know. But if you know how to do it, let me know because I sure would love $1,000 tomorrow. But this is to show that it is possible to do these things if you have kind of like the right set, right plan. I'm not a salesperson. I've never really done sales unless you call candle sales, or like I said, I got a music blog and I've done a lot of other things to the point where there are instances where I have made more money easily than other instances. And we're going to talk about that. So let's get into it. So first things first, as a candle maker, there are times when I can make more money than there are other times. So some events, a lot of events, I really can make more money than I would at my day job, my daytime job. I can make more money in the day, I can make more money in the hour than I would at my day job. You know what I mean? For example, there was one time there have been a couple scenarios, but one scenario specific, I made $1,000 in the day. How do you do that? Like, how is that possible? Here's how this is possible. You have to get a product that people want, right? And then two, you have to go to where the people are. I know that sounds so simple, and that's because it is, but it's not. And here's what I mean by that. You have to go to where the people are. So a lot of times, it's not if the money's there, it's where is the money at. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So, and that could be the tricky part, is figuring out where the money is. So for me, doing pop-ups and stuff like that, when I made $1,000, I was actually working at a restaurant, a lounge. I was a GM there, and it was, I think, Mother's Day weekend. It was either Mother's Day or Valentine's Day weekend. And so we had a lot of, parties and events and stuff going on. And being as a person who works here, I have a lot of regulars. I have a lot of people that come in all the time. And so I have a table set up this one day. I was talking to my boss and he was like, man, you should set your candles up and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm going to do that. So I set up a table and literally, like, people were just kind of buying. I had to do a little selling like, hey, man, it's Valentine's Day. Come get your girl. It's 2 for 1, blah, blah, blah. But people were selling because I'm in their face in a environment that you would not see somebody selling candles. You know what I'm saying? You would not see somebody selling candles in the club. You know what I mean? You would not. That's just not something you do. And so sometimes it's not just the product you have, it's going to places that are unconventional to be able to do it. Now, was that easier than me making regular money? Yes, it was, because I might make 20 something bucks an hour, but I just made $1,000 in a day. Does it make sense what I'm saying? But it's because I have a product that people want, but I'm doing it in an unconventional way. And this is what people don't tell you. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to go to where the people are that want what you want or want what you have. And you have to think of it in an unconventional way. So for me, doing pop-ups and stuff, I'll do, the candle pop-ups that people usually go to, like the regular pop-ups where you have all these different vendors, and you can make a lot of money there. Or I could go to a school, or I can go to a community event, or I can go to, neighborhoods that have these, like, community events in their neighborhood, and I can sell there. And depending on the area that you sell it in, the price point that you could charge for these things. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So it's finding the product, but it's also finding out where the people are that want your product. So me working in a nightclub, people are drunk, people want to spend money. That's two things that, that work for me. You gonna drink and you gonna spend money. So knowing that, and it's Valentine's Day, okay, you gotta buy your girl some candles or you don't love her. You know what I'm saying? Why would you not buy your girl's candles? Like, you don't love your girl if you don't buy her no candle. You know what I mean? So it's things like that. Sorry, I'm changing the way the light is. So it's things like that that you have to think about as well. And so this is why it's easier to make more money than it is to make a little bit of money, because that same amount of time that I could have been working my job is the same amount of time that I made more money. I made $1,000. Does that make sense what I'm saying? And I've done this on multiple occasions. Now, here can be the issue, is unless you have something that is consistent to be able to do that, you won't be able to always do that consistently. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So for me, I've kind of done it, I'm not gonna say in spurts, but they have been different times and different pop-ups where I made some money more than other money. Some money, and then others I have made more money. And that could be because of different factors. It could be because of the seasons. It could be because of the environment that I'm in. Some areas they might not pay a lot. Other areas they might pay a lot. And so the challenge for me now is to find a place where I can consistently make that kind of money. You know what I mean? Even if that means getting into like a prominent pop-up, even if that means, okay, I need to change my strategy all the way around, even if that means I have to grow my brand more, there are certain things where it's like, hey, if I go to this place and I know, for example, if I'm going to like, let's say I'm going outside to a community or a park, right? Or in some events going on, people need trash bags. So I ain't gonna say trash bags, whatever. I say I'm going to an event, people need water. It's hot outside, it's a park, it's a summer day, people need water. Now that water that I got, instead of $1, that shit just went up to $3. You know why? Because y'all can't get no water. Ain't no other water around here. You know what I'm saying? So now there's an opportunity for me to make more money. So you have to go to where the people need what you're looking for. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So if you're going to, like I said, with this park, with water, ain't no water in 10 miles, and you got 8 cases in the bag. Y'all want some water? It's hot, it's cold and it's frozen. Yeah, I want water. $3, $1 just went to $3, went to $4 because of the demand of the environment that you're in. So these are things that you kind of have to think about when it comes to, creating products and different things like that. You have to just go where the people want your stuff. But the issue sometimes is, and what takes time oftentimes that people don't tell you, is finding the environment where people want your stuff on a consistent basis. As I move from, place to place, I haven't always found a consistent base for me to do my candles. And that could be just because I haven't done those pop-ups long enough. Could be because I didn't network long enough. It could be because I moved from place to place. But you have to be able to, one, show up consistently at that place, and two, you have to find a place where you can consistently show up to. I know that sounds a lot, but that's two different things. One, you have to find a place that you can show up to consistently, but you also have to find a place that you can consistently show up to. So what I mean by that is you need to find a place where you can go, but you also need to find a place where when you go, you understand what kind of results you're gonna get from what you're doing. Oh, I'm sorry, this is camera thing. Working on my lighting here, guys. Oh well, whatever, we're gonna work with it. So these are the things that you kind of have to think of when it comes to pop-ups and making a lot of money. You can do it, but the thing is, it's not always the product. It's just going and thinking unconventionally about where can I go for people that need these products. For me, another thing, when I was in college, I used to do these things called munchie packs, which is just like snacks. Like it was like snacks on delivery, like your candy lady. And I think it took me a long time to realize this. I don't know why I didn't think about this. Spring break. I'm like, bro, let's go to the beach. All the college kids is out there for spring break. You know what I'm saying? I made like $600 in a day. You know what I mean? Why? Because I'm on the beach. People don't want to go, and I'm at the South Beach at the time. People don't want to go to the store where they paying $5 for a Gatorade, but you're going to pay $3.50 for this Gatorade. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't want to walk 10 minutes, so you might pay $5 for this Gatorade. Now I can upcharge you because you're going to walk all the way to the store? Of course not. You're going to buy it here. So like I said, it's the product that you have and then going to where the people want your product. And you have to think about it unconventional. You have to think about it outside the box. You have to get creative with those things. That is how you make the money. And that is easier than working, but you have to be able to find a plan that works consistently for you, that you can consistently do what you need to do, right? So that's what I challenge you to do. Just think outside the box. Think unconventionally, and then find a product that you sell, and then go to where those people want what your product is. And I know that sounds easy, but sometimes it just takes tweaking to say, okay, this is what I need to do. Like, had I thought about that, bro, just go sell your snacks on the beach, I could have did that from the beginning and made a whole lot more. I didn't know. And it didn't dawn on me at that time that, oh, bro, the beach, because that's what college kids love to go. I just didn't think about that. So that's my thoughts on that. Why it's easier to make more money. That's what I got for you. So drop your thoughts in the comments. Till the next time. Peace.